Originally practiced by a large group of people, the call and response technique involves sharing of musical ideas between the leader and her followers. This technique is particularly useful at the beginning of one's encounter with jazz improvisation, as it forces us to communicate our musical ideas in a convincing fashion. It forces us also to listen to one another and respond to one's playing in a musically rewarding manner. The communicative aspect of the call and response, as you might imagine, is directly related to verbal conversation or storytelling, which we discussed in lecture 1. Now, let's demonstrate the use of the call and response technique. On the screen, you can see the chord structure of the basic blues progression, along with some boxes indicating the space allotted for a call, for a musical statement, and a space allotted for a response. So what we're going to do with Christian, I'm going to play a musical idea derived from the blues, a short blues riff, and Christian is going to respond to it. So as you can see, I have 2 measures to work with, and Christian is going to continue my idea. And the main premise of call and response is not about exact imitation. So one's repetition shouldn't be literal. It should be varied, but in essence should put the musical narrative forward. So let's try that, okay? We'll use our blues scale, and I'm going to play the short melodic ideas, and we'll basically communicate those ideas together, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's talk about it a little bit. First of all, maybe with the exception of few notes that were not part of the scale, or I think they all were part of the blues scale and the major blues scale, we were kind of listening to one another and trying to pick on some characteristic aspects of our ideas. For instance, at the beginning I played my idea on beat 1, used characteristic blue notes. Christian picked on those characteristics, starting his phrase exactly on the downbeat, and then introducing some triplets to continue the musical narrative. I picked on those triplets, used them in my response, and so forth. So by doing so, you can actually engage the other player to listen to your ideas, because the most important aspect of jazz improvisation is the ability to listen. In our setting, in a duo setting, it's much easier to do that, because if you are surrounded by other musicians, by the bass players, drummer, guitar player, you have to keep track of what other musicians are playing in order to fit your ideas in the larger context. Christian, do you have any comments about, any suggestions about the call and response?
I definitely think it's about listening. Definitely propose an idea, make sure it's not too complicated so the other person can listen to you, and then I'm sure they'll be able to figure out something really nice to accompany you.
How about as a pedagogical device? Do you think working with beginners in that fashion helps one to grow in improvisation?
Definitely. It takes two people, I think, to definitely get something going. So if you have someone, whether it be you and your friend or you and a metronome or something, you could just learn a bunch just by playing with other people.
Yeah, and also you can even play that game with yourself, what Christian demonstrated. Let's actually do that. See if you can play an idea and respond to your own playing. So just, so this will involve like very acute sense of listening and way of developing your own musical narrative. Okay, let's read it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this forces the improviser to be very economical with one's ideas. So you can remember what Christian did at the beginning. Long notes, just to set the narration in motion.